Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Chris coming at you from my channel I Am Toys with another brand new review of another horror figure. I've been waiting for this one for a while. It's a custom put out by One's Custom Figures. Pre-order went up for this sucker about a year ago. They made, I believe, 30 or 31 of them. There was a DX edition and there's a regular edition. So pre-order, like I said, went up about a year ago. Just released, they just started shipping this week, about 3-4 days ago. This is based on the H1 Halloween, first Halloween, 1978 John Carpenter film. They've done previous runs of these figures, not full figures per se, but you know, head sculpts. I have a customized one as well, which is part kit bash, part custom. Many also have the similar figure as well. It's the original sculpt. Well, the one that is most favored at the moment, or at that previous moment, was the Blackest Eyes version 2.0 that was released a while back. And for some, that's kind of that was the best one out. And most people put together the components for that, which was kind of the Fergo knife, if you were able to get it, the Yunsel coveralls, which were pretty much the best at the time, or at least some people believe. David Tucker, I think, was out there making a set as well, which were also pretty top-notch. But pretty much there's some awesome figures out. And I was lucky enough to be able to grab a previous one that was already put together because a fellow collector decided to get out of the hobby, and I was able to grab one. So I'm actually going to do a comparison too between both of these, and you know, kind of give my thoughts and what I feel. You know, some people are going to agree with me, some people aren't. That's, you know, it's the nature of the beast, it's the nature of the game. So let's get into this figure, and we'll do a pan. You know, the same thing I normally do. Get into some comparisons, talk about the film a little bit, which I love to do as well. Those who watch my videos know it. So let's get into it and not waste any time. So I'm not going to skimp out and do a quick overview of the box packaging, because Montwain and Company, you know, One's Customs decided to put a lot of effort into it. So definitely going to show the box. You get a nice little slipcase, a slip cover as well. The graphic art's awesome. You get his certificate of authenticity, as you can see over here, 13 of 31. And as you can see, it was a very limited run. They made, that was it pretty much. And then you have Tinela, and I'm probably butchering the name, and if I am, I'm sorry. You also get the certificate of authenticity on that as well. And even a sample of the fabric that was kind of used for it. And I've never seen that before in a custom inclusion. So that's pretty cool that they put that in. Very awesome. As you can see, mine says DX edition, and that is labeled as such on it. And I think that's pretty cool, man. They really went through, you know, some extra effort to put together a pretty cool box for us, you know, for the finished product. So that's awesome. So I just want to give everybody a kind of shot of that and take a look. And we'll get into Michael. All right, here's our first close-up shot of Mr. Myers here. I think the sculpt is great. I think a lot of people, that's where the main disagreement's going to come in for certain people. They're going to think that, you know, hey, that's not the Shatner mask, doesn't look good. See, here's the thing with this mask. Now, when you watch this movie, and most of the film, when you see him, it's pretty dark. And you see him outside in the light, maybe only a handful of times, essentially, him in the actual mask lit up. So most of the time, when you see the Shatner mask, it is always shadowed, because he's usually in the shadows when you see him sneaking up behind somebody, or in the dark when he's actually about to strike, essentially. And with the way the light hits this mask, as far as I'm concerned, there are so many different ways that this mask can present itself based on how the light hits it in the film. And I rewatched it again last night, and there's parts in the film, and again, how the light structures on it, like when he was coming at somebody, especially specifically towards the end when he's going after Laurie through the house. I see that sculpt in this, you know, that presentation in this sculpt, 100%. And I really like it. And is the Blackest Eyes version also good? The version 2.0? Absolutely. And I'm going to have both of these together so we can see them side by side, you know, and we can get a representation of what we're kind of talking about and how we're perceiving this. But when I look at this sculpt, I see Michael Myers for sure, especially from H1. I really think it's good. And I'm telling you, the way light hits the mask, and it's the same throughout a lot of the films, even in the new one, the way the light can hit this mask, especially when it's shadow detailed, because majority when time you see him is at nighttime when he's about to fucking kill somebody, you know, can make the mask look very different. When you see the Shatner mask all lit up and as bright can be, and you see him outside like from distances in the film, that's what it looks like. But at nighttime, the shadowing, when he's going after people, I can't say it enough times, makes the mask present in so many different ways, and because of the shadows. And I think for sure it looks like it, man. When I see this, I see Michael Myers, I see the H1. The hair is a hell of a lot better on this one than on the version 2.0. He did a terrific job on the hairing process on this one. You even get a little bit of that curl on the side, which he had in the film, and that's not futzed with at all. That was out of the box, you know, just like that. And I think that's terrific. A really awesome job. And detail on the hand, I don't know if that's coming through as well. You can see a little bit of the veining on that too, which is pretty sweet. Good detail paint app on that as well. Overall, just very happy with this figure. Very happy. So, and the outfit is actually weathered this time around. And I think that is freaking badass. And I'm gonna pan this figure around, I'm gonna pop him on display and let him spin, let you see him from front to back and the sides and, you know, all that good stuff. So I hope I gave you enough shots of the front for now. And we are going to get into the rotation. So I'll see you on the other side of that. All right, so here's some of the first shots of the rear of the figure. As you can see on the back of the mask, you also get the split like you would have on an actual mask. Like I mentioned, I think the hairing that was done on this is excellent, way better than Blackest Eyes version 1, way better than 2. Like I said, you even get a little bit of that curl on the side of the mask that stands out, which you see in the film in the original H1 as well. And I really love the fact that that comes through, and that was just right out of the box, man. Right out of the damn box. I mean, look at that, man. The presence of this figure is absolutely incredible. Incredible. And the weathering done on the outfit is top notch, man. Tinela and One's killer job. Really excellent work done. I love that it's a little bit weathered, because when you're killing people from house to house and you're crashing through doors and closets and you're getting taken to the ground a couple times, you're going to pick up a little bit of dirt and so on, right? I think that would be expected. And the coveralls color-wise has always been up for debate for a very long time. People were like, oh, it's navy blue, they're navy blue. So some people are watching this like, why aren't they navy blue? Why are they looking like a green gray? Well, that's actually what they were. Most people, fans, don't realize, but in the original film, there's, you know, which is why this is such a debate, there was a lot of blue lighting used. And again, like I say, when it comes to lighting in this film, it's very important, because a lot of what you see is very dark. So when you see this in a lot of the scenes in the film, it looks blue, but it's actually probably not. One specific scene where you actually see, I think the little kid's name was Tommy, and he was basically running through the street, and you see, you know, he runs into Michael. They actually look like more of like a sprucey kind of green color, and or grayish, not the navy blue. And that was when he was outside. But like I mentioned again, I'm always going to go back to this. When you actually get through to when he's in the house, and the lighting on the outfit and on the Shatner mask changes the details and the way the mask presents, the way the outfit presents, you name it. So I just want to hammer that across, because it's very important, and that's why I 100% see the H1 mask in this sculpt. 100% for me. And I really love this figure. I can't say it enough. It's a terrific job, man. It really is. Really is. And the knife, I believe, I'm not sure if I mentioned, I think it is plastic. They didn't go metal this time, but it's not a big deal for me. I could care less. Joint wise on the body, a little bit stiff in the elbows. Legs move pretty good, but overall, Everything is excellent in my opinion so far. So let me show you the accessories too. We'll talk about that a little bit, and then I'll show you the side-by-side comparisons of this and the Blackest Eyes version 2. So let's keep it moving, kids. All right, now I'm going to show you some of the extra accessories you get. Yeah, this is my my Halloween box set, and I'm pretty much using that to display the little mini bust you get. So not only do you get the figure and what you already saw, you also get a little mini bust with in order that you can actually display the second mask on, which I thought was a really sweet addition. This is the stretch face mask. Essentially, Michael Myers, I think there were, depending, again, who you talk to. I believe there was about 3 masks altogether. And I think there was two were used for stunts, and I think one was the one that Nick Castle wore, I believe, from what I understand. So the masks, they're Shatner masks. They essentially cut the eyes out to make them wider, and then got rid of the sideburns or whatnot because he probably would have looked kind of silly. So they got rid of that, and like I said, they cut the eye holes out a little bit bigger as well. And I think they were pretty much already stretched out, or they might have stretched them out even more. I'm not sure, but of course the mask, the way it would present to as well, because of different shapes of people's faces and their heads, the mask would also sit differently and rest differently on a person's face as well. So I think that's awesome as well that they included this other head, and I think everybody got it, not just the people with the DX exclusive. They also got the stretch face mask as well, and I'll do a final, I'll have that on the body for a closeout, and that'll be the final thing. So I apologize if you hear my kids in the background screaming and yelling, but we're in an apartment right now as we buy a new house because I moved. So when you're a dad, that's what you got to do when you're trying to do reviews of figures, right? So sorry about that. But anyway, I think it's great. The little mini bust is cool, and I'll show you the pumpkin that you also get as well. And we'll close out with, actually, we'll put the stretch face on, then close out with the comparison between the two, the customized and this full figure customized. And here's the pumpkin that you get. There's a little mini candle in there. It's battery operated that you can, gives you that little flicker effect. Easily replaceable batteries, and you get like a little portion of what would be the porch, essentially, so you can kind of put that on it so the pumpkin can be on there as well. I think that's a nice little addition as well, and I love that. It's really, really cool. Looks like it's lit up and kind of got a light in there, which is neat. Got to have the pumpkin if you're displaying Michael Myers, right? So let me show you one last look of the Myers with the stretch face on, the additional sculpt, and I'll show you, like I said, the other version of Michael that I have that's been put together through partially kit bashing and customizing, and the present one side by side. See you on the other side, guys. All right, and here's a look at the stretch face sculpt on the body. I also think it's, like I said, also a very good sculpt. I like that. I like the look. I like to be able to have that option to be able to switch and put on another head, which is awesome. I think it looks great. Really, really enjoyed it. Oh, and I want to correct myself too. Earlier, I said I didn't think that I thought the knife was plastic. Believe it or not, it's actually, I think it is metal, and it's actually a little sharp. It's actually been sharpened. At least it looks like it anyway, the way the detail was put on it. But I think it is actually metal. I have such a hard time trying to figure out whether or not things are metal sometimes, especially if they're light. You kind of can tap it on something and see if it works. But I think it might actually be metal. Those of you who are better at that, again, sorry for my kids screaming. Let me know if it's plastic or metal. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember back in the description of the figure too, if it was metal or not, and I cannot remember. But so this is the stretch face sculpt anyway. It's the most important thing, what we want to talk about. Also, the hairing process is excellent on this as well. Like I said, both sculpts are great, man. Both really, really good job. Really good job. And again, I just, everything about it is just sick, man. It's really interesting. I would love to know, like, there's always been rumored that there's been more masks, supposedly even more than 3 or 2, again, depending on who you speak to. I know some of the future ones have been sold to like collectors privately. I don't even know who owns the original anymore, to tell you the truth, but whoever does own it, if it's Carpenter or Castle, if they still have it or if they sold it over the years, who knows. But I'm sure whoever has it paid a pretty penny for it if it was sold and rebought. But yeah, that's a discussion for another day, you know, like they say. All right, so that's the look of the stretch face. And let's get into both this and the other one side by side. Okay, so this is both side by side. We got the stretch face out there too as well. And as you can see, there are definitely some glaring differences between the two as far as paint application, the outfit. I definitely, again, looking at between the two, I am enjoying for sure the one on the left more. But here's the thing. Now, this one, the paint application's coming across like more like a blue, almost blue-gray. And this one more has the white, you know, personification. But in certain parts of the film, because of the blue lighting that they used, there were parts where the mask does come off looking this way. So it's not entirely inaccurate. The hair is a little bit inaccurate. It's really hard to mess around with to try to get it to where you need it, because maybe just a little bit too much hair on it. But you can futz around with it to get it somewhat accurate. It's tough. I've seen some people out there who have got it better than I have. Dean Knight is one of the few too as well who's been messing around with the hair trying to get it right, and he's probably got it to the best that I've seen. And there's a couple other people who I've seen done well as well. This one I think is by far the best as far as what was just released. I think it looks great, really excellent. This one you've got more of the gray Yunsel coveralls, and this one they've gone with the more spruce kind of green gray almost a little bit, which is I think is the more accurate to the original film as far as the color scheme. So I'm actually happier. Again, another reason why I'm happier with this version than I am with this version. I mean, with this version, I was lucky enough to pick it up, like I mentioned, from a fellow collector who parted his way from the hobby, so I didn't have to wait to try and put all this stuff together and so on and so forth. But it is a great figure, and I may hold on to it. I may not. I may actually choose to sell it at this point. I'm not sure, because I really do love this one. But I also feel this one personifies the film in some ways as well. So it's a tough call. If I keep both, I got the best of both worlds. And if I want to get rid of one of them, you know, it would probably be this one. This one I love. I just do. It's just fantastic. I think the presence of it is incredible. I love the weathering that they added to it. You know, the clean look is cool too. But I absolutely love the weathering look on this version. I think it's great. It's just mean, man. He's just really intimidating. It's incredible work done by both parties in putting this figure out. So as far as the film is concerned, I've always loved the film. Most people know that Freddy Krueger is by far my favorite. Of all the slashers, essentially, Michael Myers is up there. Michael Myers and Jason are probably tied for me for number 2, to tell you the truth. And that's just the way it is. So it's just a tie right now. I love both of them equally. This year I'm Michael Myers for Halloween. And you know, it was fun. I scared a bunch of kids at trunk or treat last night, which was cool. It was definitely fun. But this movie's a classic, man. I mean, it's Jamie Lee Curtis's first film. You know, John Carpenter basically did this film for like $10,000. I think that's all he got paid. But he was basically given free creative control to do whatever he wanted. The Mask, it was almost like such a haphazardly put together film. The Mask, there was really no choice for what mask they wanted. They were thinking of like a clown mask at first, some Willy mask or something, I think it was called. And they just happened to find the Shatner mask. They painted it white. They cut out the eyes a little bigger, got rid of the sideburns, you know, and modified it. And it's just, they came out, I don't know if they knew what they had on their hands, but they made an incredible film. So that's really about it, guys. I hope you got what you needed from this. I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody, man. Joe Bratton, Tinela Customs, Montwain. And you guys did an incredible job. You know, Joe organized the pre-order for this, got me my tracking, got getting these slowly shipped out for everyone, and it's really been excellent. So to close out, my daughter wants to say hello and goodbye because she's a horror fan somewhat, but she not old enough. Well, you have to see the corner of her eye anyway. Get in front of the camera, babe, so they can actually see you. Put your little big head there. All right, that's it, guys. As I say, deuces, you horror girls and boys. Peace.